So, what y'all think about the the
Yeah.
research I was doing about our guest coming up at 1 with some interesting things that she said she was doing for her publishing journey. I've never
Yeah.
Oh,
But do
yeah.
you think the first draft that she turned in was for a developmental edit that the editor would then return to her if she's
Well
working that closely with the editor on her
Well,
outlines?
why don't we
that
provide some
is
context for the fine folks joining us
that
here?
is
I think
specifically
they
what I
like
planned to ask her, Abby.
stepping into the middle of a conversation. You guys have already set that up.
Yeah, this is it's
Don't lump
literally
me in
what
on
we
this.
do.
Don't.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, my
Who do we have in
beautiful
the chat
co-hosts,
here?
Doug and Abby, and all of you
my
fine
God.
folks tuning in to join us today.
We have NJ and we have B, and let me scroll through the chat here. Well, we were chatty today, and I love to see that. We also have, I know we have YR Owens in here. Elena's here with us. Excellent, excellent. No, I want to sprint. Well, we
You
do have our
guys,
first sprint coming up in 3.5 minutes. So.
I have actually been making a list of like weird things that people actually say to me as like a dialogue study. And some of them I'm like, it's too much, but it's seriously real world dialogue. So
When
one
I
was
was
like,
getting, sorry, go ahead.
I was just
No,
going to say,
no.
one was a whole conversation between my children that involved a human tooth that they found on the rug. I was like, what?
I pasted the link to the first sprint there in the chat if anyone
I
is
beat you
interested.
to it 3 minutes ago.
Oh, well,
So
my
No harm in
apologies.
sharing twice. Hi, Renee. When I got my haircut last week, there was another barber who was talking about how
Always
he
bragging about this haircut.
Oh, because it just looks so good, Hank. You called me beautiful. How could I not? He was talking about how he doesn't use a comb and clippers when he does beards. He just eyeballs it, uses scissors and whatnot. And he said, it's organic, it's natural. You have to have a feel for it. Like a beard is my bonsai tree, and you can call me Mr. Miyagi. And like that line just has stuck with me ever since. And I feel like that's gonna make its way into a book somewhere.
If that doesn't wind up in a book, oh, you're having your writer card revoked.
I just need
Oh
to
my
make sure he
God.
didn't like lift it from somewhere. We didn't hear it in a movie or something before, but I think it's fantastic.
I think it's pretty fantastic as well.
Ginger's in here. Hello, and hello to Rosalinda and Shelly, and B is saying my Auburn locks are amazing. I have a right to preen, so preen I shall.
His nickname here at Dabble is the Peacock. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Is
or
it?
not.
I didn't know that. So
It is now.
It is today. Yeah. Oh, so
excellent.
funny.
All right. We have a minute and a half. Abby, you said you were working on something unique in these sprints today.
I am. I'm going to work on something so different, you guys. If you join us on Friday for my class, shameless plug, on pitching small presses, I'm working on one element that I have to pitch this specific press. It's something that no one has asked me for up until this point. So sometimes it's really hard not to just like get really annoyed when you have a press or an agent who wants something that's like all the way out in left field. But this was a chapter by chapter summary. So little different, but I'm going to work on that today. So you guys can see me go through and like, if I don't write for swaths of the time, it's because I'm actually reading the manuscript, making sure that the pieces that I have actually match. So
how many chapters are in your average?
I don't know. This particular one has 30. So,
okay.
But they're most of the chapters themselves are short, maybe 4 pages. I do have a couple that are longer. So yeah.
So kind of 1,000-word-ish chapters.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
So.
Hey, NJ Dabble can read your stuff to you. Oh,
yeah,
here we go.
Oh, we're starting. Got to say hello to Robert as well in the chat. All right, happy writing, everyone.
Bye.
There we go. That's our first sprint done.
All right. How did you guys do?
I'm doing show prep, so
Oh.
know.
Well, we appreciate you being here nonetheless.
yeah. Just wanted to hang out with my
1,000 words.
friends.
Oh, Aaron is like me. I think my total word count was 41. Aaron got 49. So we're in the 40s
41
club.
big words,
Oh, this is actually something I forgot to mention now that I'm scanning the chat, in that in North America here, we went through a time change over the weekend. And so while we are broadcasting at the normal time for us, it may be an hour ahead. No.
I was just reading the same
Yes.
thing. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
man, can we
Yeah,
all
so-
just, if we're going to continue this farce, whatever it is, of daylight savings time, can we get the whole world on the same schedule at least?
That's
Man,
the thing, man. As someone who's worked with people from the UK, from Australia, from, other parts of North America, like, I think it's in Arizona, they don't do daylight savings time. So I have a friend who lives there, and like time is just different for us now.
I can't keep up with it, and I'm living it. So how are people who don't live in it supposed to keep up with it? It makes no sense.
Well, I appreciate everyone joining us early, or maybe on time in half an hour from now, but that is something we should mention a couple times.
Or they're just really early for tomorrow's sprint.
Oh, very early.
Or like that time you showed up like 3 weeks early, Hank.
Hey, we don't talk about that. That's in the past, Abby. That's literally in the past.
Well, what was your word count, Doug? 1,000 and what?
1,069.
All right.
Yeah, it's good. Again, I'm riding this like high. I'm coming up to the midpoint of the story, actually, and that's the third act of the book is where I have almost nothing in my outline. But the first two acts are when I have quite a bit in my outline. So either I need to go and do a lot more outline work before we get to that third act, or just accept that my words per hour rate is going to drop substantially. I've always wanted to go and watch Doctor Who, but there's so much to catch up on that I feel intimidated.
No, I think, aren't they like mostly episodic? Because the only one I have ever seen is the Vincent Van Gogh episode. And let me tell you, if you're going to watch it, get a box of Kleenex. I mean, I sobbed at the end of it.
My problem with Doctor Who is that in the late 70s, early 80s, I would come home from school and there would be Doctor Who episodes on PBS, public broadcasting, for those of you not in the States. And it had this doctor with like a big head of curly hair and a brown scarf. And it was so cheesy. And I know that modern Doctor Who is like this whole other thing, but I just can't escape that early childhood memory of what Doctor Who was then. And I don't know. People say it's amazing, but I've never gotten into it. So
Rosalinda said something interesting here.
Yeah.
Finally figured out if I watch this directly in the Storycraft Cafe, this being not Doctor Who, but us, our faces, it is live. If you watch YouTube, there's a delay, which is maddening with the word sprint count. Yeah, there's about a 5 to 8 second delay generally when it comes to YouTube. I didn't know, because in Storycraft, like, it's just the YouTube link, is it not?
It is, which should add a layer of delay. You would think, because the bits are bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, who knows? But sorry, there's nothing we can do about that delay except, I guess, get you to watch it in the Storycraft Cafe.
I actually have to go back and copy and paste my stuff over from Sprint 1 into Sprint 2. But now I have to find the link for Sprint 1 because I already shut it down on my computer. All right, I got link number for number 2 is in the chat, you guys. Thank you, Ashley. She always reminds me, and I'm like, because I start talking, and then my mom will tell you that's been my problem since I was a child. Me and B talks too much.
Michelle said, "How can I get to?" Oh, never mind.
I got it.
Okay, okay.
There.
Bye.
We're on the same wavelength, Hank. Happy sprinting, everyone. Hank, you need some of that energy for the show later.
Joking, just joking. How's it going, guys?
Fantastic.
Okay, I'm gonna get this
B said
link.
only $4.97. My cat needed attention. Well,
Aw,
at the
That's a
side,
good excuse.
still pretty great, B.
there we go.
Hank, what show is coming up in 40 minutes after our last sprint?
Marrying Romance and Fantasy with Alexandra Kennington.
Yeah.
Alexandra has a brand new book that releases today called Blood Beneath the Snow. How about me just reading that backwards? Yeah, today's her this is her debut novel, and she has a pretty interesting story of how she got published and the journey she went through. We'll let her tell all about it, but it sounds like a fun story, and like I alluded to earlier, she has a YouTube channel where she posts about her process and her journey and all that. And she said a couple of things that I find really provocative, just about how close she and her editor have worked on her outline, and that she turned in a first draft of book 2 just a little bit ago. So I'm interested to, like, is this like an actual first draft, or is this a first draft after she's gone through and, I don't let anybody read my first drafts, but
Except on writing sprints when you write them in front of us.
Yes.
When I write them in front of the whole wide world. But Dean Wesley Smith aside, because we've all decided that he's just a freak of nature, and the whole thing about first drafts is that kind of scares me. So I'm interested to hear what she has to say, and for her to
circle back around. Is she romantasy?
She is.
I'm gonna have to pick up a romantasy and read it, because they always have titles that make me feel like they're going to be violent battles or something.
Yeah,
there are often violent battles in romantasy.
Okay.
Right.
Because they are fantasy.
High fantasy, right?
Yeah, and they're full of magic and warriors and all of the things that you want from a high fantasy. But
plus smut, right?
But that's one way to put it. I was going to say spicy, but smut, it would
that's how I hear TikTok describe it. That's why I like that. Just seems to be the way that it's described. And so,
sorry, not to distract from this, but I do want to tackle Electrical's asking here. Question: when do sprints start now? 4:30 p.m. UK time now, correct? Sprints will be so it's 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Eastern time has sprung ahead an hour. So whatever the time is now, subtract an hour from it, and that's about when we'll be starting until November. So
I think so. When it turns back.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at Ashley's comment.
I'm Central Time, and UK time has typically been 6 hours behind me, but Eastern time would be 5 hours behind. But then factor in.
Yeah, so it's 4:30 p.m. Eastern, or 4:30 p.m. UK time.
Yeah, or you could just Google what time is,
Google. Doug and Abby and Hank don't know time zones very well.
Time zones
are true.
Yeah.
1 minute to get that link. I'll grab it, folks.
I already did it. I'm ahead of you.
Where were you, Doug? Wake up.
Okay, Rosalinda just asked for it. Thank you.
Well, scroll up.
Wake up, Rosalinda.
120.
I'm posting it there just so people don't have to scroll up. In Italy, it's 6:24. Time zones always kind of blow my mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have 30 seconds till this one starts. There's something I wanted to mention. Something I want to talk about perspective for a couple minutes after this sprint.
Okay.
Before we
say a couple minutes, you got 20 seconds. So
I won't have time to, but let me preface it by I'm watching this movie called Presence. It's a horror movie. And the shtick is that it's all from the camera is the perspective of the ghost haunting the house.
Ooh.
Which is cool. And so I wanted to talk about that in a writing context, but now the sprint's starting, so we'll see everyone in 20 minutes.
things you'll never hear Hank say. I was watching this horror movie.
Bye. Our last sprint of the day done.
Whew, so many words.
Ta-da-da. How many did you get, Hank?
None. Well, I take that back. There were words, just not in a
These
project I was working
Yeah.
on. You know,
Yeah.
other work that has to be done.
Unfortunately, we do have to do those works sometimes.
Whatever.
At least it's still fun.
It is
Yes.
still fun. I
Yeah.
wake up every morning just excited to do what I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about y'all?
Speaking of what you do, though, I'm sharing the
Yeah.
link for that show that's happening in 15 minutes in the chat right now. So everybody go on over there to learn about some romantasy. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it too because
Especially, can we see the cover of that book again?
Yep.
Yeah, hold it up.
Right here.
Such a bold cover. I love the red in the snow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That snow, that blood is above the snow.
You know, I
It
wasn't
is.
gonna say it. I didn't want to.
Permeating.
Okay, I don't know if you can really tell this from the but blood is dripping from the crown over the O
yeah.
and then down
Ooh,
Yeah.
across the snow.
cool.
beautiful.
And you don't get a real, but you see how the O is
Yeah.
kind of meets the horizon
Mhm.
there,
Yeah.
and it's kind of a river of blood.
Yeah,
Hmm.
nice.
The background looked like beyond my back fence a week ago. So
So do you
No
have
blood.
grass now?
I'm seeing patches of grass show up in
Ooh,
places.
nice.
My better half is visiting a friend right now. It's March break
Yeah.
here, so teachers are off this week, and so she's visiting a friend who is just on the Canada-US border in Sarnia.
Yeah.
And there is not a drop of snow to be found, or a flake of snow to be found. It is all
Ooh.
grass, dead grass or regrowing grass, but
Yeah.
It's
I'm
there.
jealous.
It's all part of the process.
All right, it
Now-
looks like Emily 642, B total 1780,
Excellent.
Sarah 268, Rosalinda 1188, Iva 653. You guys are killing it.
Rosalinda, are you meeting your deadline? I know you had a book that
Ooh,
you're
yeah.
trying to meet a pre-order for. Are you maintaining that goal?
Ashley kills me.
That's exactly the song though that I had in my brain when you guys did romantasy. That's like the thing that I think I sent it to you the first time I saw it, Doug, because I was like,
That's so funny.
Rosalinda said something about "be here," which I missed before, or just now actually. This is the last of my book. Then the bright light sparked, and there were no more draggings except one lonely male far away to the south. He bellowed his sorrow. That makes my heart hurt. But if that's the last line of your book, congratulations. That's very cool. I'm interpreting that right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But very, very powerful line there.
Yeah.
Awesome. So the one thing I want to say before we break and let Hank have a few minutes in between shows, perspective. So the movie coming from the ghost's perspective, and as Ashley said, there is a new movie, a new horror movie out there. You said the title somewhere, and I can't remember what it is now. It's from the killer's perspective, and it's all him walking through the woods after the like teens or young adults that brought him back to life, however they did it in a violent nature. Perspective is such a fun thing to play around with, and we talked about it in office hours. There was some talk in the community about dual POVs. But if you're writing a multiple perspective book, I don't know, homework, exercise, a little food for thought. Try taking one of your scenes and seeing how it would change writing it from the perspective of somebody else in the scene. And like, it can be really, really cool what you can do from that. Even if, say, it's like a hero and sidekick up against the antagonist, write it from the antagonist perspective and see how that goes. Just try it. Flex your creative muscles. Because I think it's something we don't think about very often. We have an idea of what we want to write and we just go for it, not thinking there are maybe better ways to do it.
Man, you're just talking about like murders and teens stomping through the woods, and all I can think is Blair Witch Project.
Excellent. Maybe I'll rewatch that. Not the sequel, though.
Oh, I couldn't watch the first one. It freaked me out, made me motion sick. So, all right, everybody, let's give Hank some time. We'll see you all tomorrow. / in 15 minutes.
15 minutes and 12:30 p.m. Eastern time
That's right.
tomorrow.
All righty. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.